we take a short-term emotion and we think it's going to be long-term results. And for the vast majority of us, we don't really know what's going to happen, right? A 5-year car loan, 5 years is a long, long, long time.
This happens with money. This happens in relationships. This happens in fitness too. You're looking good, feeling good on the beach, and I'm telling you, you're going to step off the gas if you let yourself feel too good. I know it sounds weird, but I'm telling you, I remember I had an 8-pack of abs, and I let it go, Kev.
Next Level Nation, welcome back to another episode of Next Level University, where we teach you how to level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. We hope you enjoyed our latest episode. It was episode number 1322. When were you the most fulfilled? Today, for episode number 1323, happy Monday. Don't make long-term decisions based on short-term emotions. Alan, I have a different story than I told you. I actually had one come to me. So now I might be considered somebody who understands relationships at a deep level, and I might be considered somebody who has a successful relationship, and I might be considered a rational partner, and many good things, hopefully. But I haven't always been that way. At many times in my life, I was very emotional when it came to my relationships. So I'll never forget, I started dating this young lady, and I ended up moving in with her like, I don't know, maybe 4 months later. So it was reckless. At the time, I was in between places. So that's when I was living with my best friend's family, my old best friend's family. I met this person. I ended up getting a really sketchy apartment by myself in a not so nice area of a town somewhere. And I lived there for a couple months, and I was never home. So I was like, it doesn't really make any sense for me to have an apartment by myself. I'm never home. I'm always traveling for work. Then my girlfriend at the time said, hey, I just moved to Boston, and there's this couple that has a really nice apartment, and they said you could come live there too. And everything in me was like, this is awesome. This is the best idea ever. This is legitimately the best idea. This is going to be great. I'm going to live with my girlfriend. I'm going to live in Boston. Awesome. This is going to be the best thing ever. But that is exactly what we are telling you not to do today. Don't make long-term decisions based on short-term emotions. I thought I was in love. I thought it was going to work. I thought we were going to be together forever. And I uprooted my life, and I moved all my stuff to Boston, where I didn't really want to live, honestly. I don't like the city. You know me. And we ended up living there for like, I don't know, maybe 6 months, and then moving. Talk about another one. Then we moved into our own place and signed a lease together, even though we had already been talking about potentially breaking up. She ended up leaving me, and I got stuck with the apartment, which that's where this podcast was created. So it all ended up working out. But this happens a lot with, if you think about it, this happens a lot with love, and it happens a lot with wealth. Love, when you are out of an old relationship and into a new one, we just assume it's the best ever. Nothing can ever go wrong. Our partner can never do wrong. We can never do wrong. And there will be no end for this. We also do this with money. I've told this story many times of I made $14 an hour, and I went and bought a $30,000 car because I was like, oh, I'm making the most money I've ever made. I made a very long-term decision based on a short-term emotion of I am making more money now. And I think for a lot of us, we take a short-term emotion and we think it's going to be long-term results. And for the vast majority of us, we don't really know what's going to happen, right? A 5-year car loan, 5 years is a long, long, long time. We've only been doing this for 6. So imagine,
it's wild.
That's wild. A car loan is 5 years. A lot can happen in 5 years. So don't make long-term decisions based on short-term emotions.
It's irrationality. All human beings make rational and irrational decisions, and it's that duality. What's a rational decision? A rational decision is swimming in the ocean, knowing that the chances of you being eaten by a shark are extremely low, even though the emotion at the time when you're in the ocean is so much fear, at least for me. Tons of fear. We talk about that. Snakes, spiders, and sharks. I think those are like snakes, spiders, sharks, and if you know me, snapping turtles.
The 4 S's.
Yeah,
the 4 S's of danger.
It's so interesting because those 4 things that I just said, snakes, spiders, snapping turtles, and sharks, everyone listening, I'd be surprised if anyone didn't say at least one of those they were like pretty petrified of. For me, it's sharks and snapping turtles. But those things don't kill a lot of people. They're not actually that dangerous when you look at the statistics. And so I looked it up. In the U.S., there's one shark death per year on average with 313 million people. That's decent odds. You know, how many people are swimming in the ocean every day, right? You're much more likely to get in a car accident. So don't make long-term decisions based on short-term emotions. This is why emotions are sometimes useful, sometimes very inaccurate.
Hello, my name is Eddie Pinero. I'm the founder of Your World Within, and I wanted to take a second and just express how valuable working with Alan has been. His ability to help me create clarity and maintain focus on my big picture goals has been huge. You know, he's been a huge asset with the roadmap as well, the day-to-day things, the little things that we sometimes overlook. I think anyone looking to, grow themselves, grow a business or both, would truly benefit from having Alan as an ally along the way. Again, great mind, but more importantly, solid dude.
We talk about the phases in relationships. You have the honeymoon phase. The honeymoon phase is when all of your neurochemicals are going through the roof. You've got oxytocin and you've got dopamine and it's brand new and you're meeting their family and they're meeting your family and everything's butterflies, rainbows, and all that. And that's great. That's great. Okay. But if you've been in the honeymoon phase where everything was wonderful and then the relationship didn't work out, I've been there several times, you realize in hindsight that was very clearly an incompatible relationship. I'm thinking of one of my relationships right now, and this person doesn't have goals, doesn't have dreams, works a 9-to-5 job, has never been an entrepreneur. They don't really care that much about self-improvement. They don't really care that much about fitness. In hindsight, we had really good chemistry sexually. We were very attracted to each other. We had a history together because we grew up together. And in hindsight, we made long-term decisions based on short-term emotions, just like Kevin was mentioning earlier. And in hindsight, it's so blatantly obvious that was not a good decision. Hindsight is 2020. This is why that saying exists. Hindsight is 2020. This is why. Hindsight is 2020. Might as well be another saying. Ready? I now realize, while outside of the short-term emotion, that was an irrational decision. And so whether it's Kevin signing up for a $30,000 car loan, making $14 an hour, presupposing that everything's going to stay the same, or it's someone I know recently has fallen in love, and that's a wonderful thing, but they were together. They were official within a week, and they were already talking about moving in together. And fortunately, I've spoken to this person. I said, I wanted to be with Emilia the moment I met her. I genuinely wanted to be with her the moment I met her. But I ended up not asking her to be with me until 3 months later. It was at a wedding in Newport. And that was because I also wanted to be intimate with her right away. But I wanted to wait because I wanted her to know I wanted more than just that. And so I wanted to be respectful. I wanted to do this right. I really, really wanted to do this one right. And I have. And I'm so grateful because I have screwed up so many relationships in the past unintentionally from my own irrational decision-making when it comes to making long-term decisions based on short-term emotions. It's almost like when you feel so good, you'll do anything to make it fit. And Kevin and I, one more story quickly, because I know we got to jump soon. Going to be a short one today. Kevin and I had our biggest month to date last month. But before that, it was February of 2022, and my man Kevin and I were in business. And we had spent years broke. So for us, this was like life-changing money. And so we made $42,000 in February of 2022 in the business, and that is gross revenue, not net revenue. But Kevin and I went off the rails after that. I was watching, my favorite show at like 11 a.m. on a Tuesday. I mean, we talk about it. We stepped off the gas. Guess what happens when you're, stepping off the gas? All of a sudden, all the stuff that you used to do to make that $42,000 happen starts to go away. And it took us a full year to get back to bettering our old best. And we just luckily, I don't want to say luckily, we stepped back on the gas last year after we realized and ate the humble pie of the fact that we made a long-term decision based on short-term emotions. We stopped focusing on the long term. We stopped doing the hard work. We started kind of relaxing a little bit more. We started getting used to having money. We paid off a bunch more debt than we probably should have. You know, in hindsight, we needed more of that capital. And again, this happens with money. This happens in relationships. This happens in fitness too. You're looking good, feeling good on the beach. And I'm telling you, you're going to step off the gas if you let yourself feel too good. I know it sounds weird, but I'm telling you, I remember I had an 8-pack of abs and I let it go, Kev. I let it go, man, because I took it for granted. I made a short-term decision or a long-term decision based on short-term emotions. I decided to stop tracking calories for the rest of my life. You know, and again, so I don't want to beat myself up or Kevin up. I don't want to beat any of the listeners up. What I do want you to know is this is a thing. This is not a you thing. This is a human thing. And you really do have to try to balance feel-good chemicals with long-term rational choices.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like you have to imagine, like Taryn and I are planning for a trip to Belgium. And I'm like, I understand we want to do this, and this, but I have to figure out how much this costs before we can commit to doing it because I want the emotion of what we're doing to be the best. I want it to be amazing. I don't want you to have to think of any of this. But I also want to make sure we're balancing logic with emotion so we don't spend $10,000 on this trip. It's that. But it's hard because sometimes it feels like it takes the enjoyment out of things. There's a couple people I follow on social media that are in new relationships. And it's like, I know everything is great right now. I know it is. But you got to be very careful with what you're planning because everything is great in the beginning. Nobody hates a job on their first day. You ever had you meet somebody, they're like, oh, this is the best job ever. It's like, yeah, no, I'm sure it is right now. I mean, mine was too. Every job I ever had was great. Or I quit on the first day. I worked in a meat shop for one day. I left and I sent my uncle in to get my check because I was afraid. That was when I was very young. All right, we got to go because I got to get on another podcast. We, again, 7 episodes a week. It's humbling. It's a humbling beast. It's a humbling beast to keep up with. Now, we are committed to getting an episode every day. Will it always be the 20-minute variety? Probably not. If you have not joined our private Facebook group yet, you could be the 700th member. I think we're coming up. Last time I looked, it was 697 or 698. Alan said there were a couple more people coming in. So if you are looking for a community of like-minded individuals who want more out of life, but they don't make you feel bad for your goals, whatever your goals are, whatever your dreams are, Next Level Nation is an inclusive place to be yourself. Please join. The link is in the show notes.
Also, we have a monthly meetup this Thursday, the 3 most valuable things you never learned about money. That will also help you make longer term, better decisions. We hope to see you there. The link will be in the show notes to register.
Tomorrow for episode number 1324, Breaking the Pattern of Overthinking. Oh, I'm excited for that one. Yeah, it's a good story. I think I kind of already told parts of it, but that'll be a good episode. As always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. And at NLU, we do not have fans. We have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
Keep it rational. Next Level Nation.